Welcome to today's episode, where we'll be talking about one of the most important parts of applying for an Australian student visa, the genuine student requirement. Now, what does this actually mean? In simple terms, the genuine student requirement is there to make sure that people applying for a student visa are coming to Australia with a real intention to study, not just as a way to stay, work, or migrate, without following the proper pathways. When you apply for your visa, you'll be asked to explain your story in a written statement, sometimes called a genuine student statement or statement of purpose. This is where you connect the dots between your past education, your work experience, your chosen course in Australia, and your future goals. Now, the GSS isn't just another form to fill in, it's your story, your proof of purpose, and your opportunity to convince immigration officers that you are a genuine student, someone coming to Australia to study, not just as a backdoor to work or permanent migration. A strong GSS must do 6 things. First, it must be personal, authentic, and detailed. Second, it must show clear academic progression. Third, it must justify why you chose your course, your institution, and Australia. Fourth, it must demonstrate financial capacity. Fifth, it must prove strong ties to your home country. And finally, it must acknowledge your visa conditions. So let's go step by step. First, personal background and family roots. Start with your personal background, where you come from, and the people and values that shaped you. Aim for about 300 to 500 words here. Ask yourself, where were you born and raised? What traditions or cultural aspects shaped your life? How has your family influenced your education and career goals? Who are your role models? Why does this matter? Because the visa officer is looking for proof that you have strong connections to your home country. If you're deeply rooted in your community, you're more likely to return after your studies. Here's a sample way to phrase it. I was born in Recife, Brazil, where my family has lived for generations. Growing up in a close-knit community that values resilience, I learned from an early age the importance of hard work and service. My father is a teacher, and my mother is a nurse, and their dedication to improving lives inspired me to pursue education with the same sense of purpose. Every year, our family gathers for Carnival and New Year celebrations, which keep me grounded in my culture and traditions. Remember, specific details and vivid examples make your story stand out. Second, education history. Next, highlight your academic journey. This should be about 300 to 400 words. Ask yourself, where did you go to school? Did you pursue higher education? Did you change direction? And why? What courses or subjects inspired you most? Why does this matter? Because immigration officers want to see logical academic progression, that your next course builds on your past studies or redirects you with a clear purpose. Here's a sample phrasing. I completed my secondary education at Colegio San Jose in 2016. I then enrolled in a Bachelor of Psychology at the Federal University of Pernambuco. While studying psychology, I developed a strong interest in community health and social support programs. To explore this area further, I completed a short course in community counselling, which confirmed my passion for supporting vulnerable groups. This inspired me to pursue further studies in community services. Notice how each step connects smoothly. No gaps, no random choices. Third, work and career experience. Now let's talk about your professional background. This section should be around 250 to 350 words. Ask yourself, what industries have you worked in? What skills did you gain? How did those jobs confirm your career direction? Why does this matter? Because it shows maturity, discipline, and that you're not just studying for the sake of it. Here's a sample line. I worked as a community support assistant at Casa de Esperanza, where I helped coordinate workshops for families affected by domestic violence. This role gave me skills in communication, case management, and teamwork. However, I often felt I lacked the professional training to design and evaluate programs effectively. That experience convinced me that I needed formal studies in community services. Always tie your experience back to your chosen course. Fourth, motivation to study abroad. Okay, now here's a very important part, explaining why you want to study abroad and why specifically Australia. This should be around 300 to 400 words. Ask yourself, why not study in your home country? Why not go to Canada, the UK, or the US? Why specifically Australia? Why does this matter? Because immigration officers want to see that your choice of Australia is deliberate and carefully researched. Here's a sample structure. I considered studying community services in Brazil, but the programs are largely theoretical and lack structured industry placements. I also researched options in Canada and the UK, but found them longer in duration and more expensive, which would delay my career goals. Australia, however, offers a unique balance: high-quality education, affordable tuition, and competency-based training that includes practical placement hours. The multicultural environment will also allow me to gain experience working with diverse communities, which is essential for my future career in Brazil. The key here is comparison. Show that you looked at alternatives and that Australia is the best fit. Fifth, why this course and institution? This is where you show you've done your homework. Target 400 to 600 words. Ask yourself, what's the exact course you're applying for? What specific subjects excite you? Why this institution, not another one? How does the course duration suit your career plans? Why does this matter? Because vague answers sound suspicious. Specific details prove you researched properly. Here's a sample you can adapt. I chose the Diploma and Bachelor of Community Services at Stanley International College. The diploma lasts 55 weeks and includes 228 hours of structured placement, which will give me real-world experience. The pathway also allows me to articulate directly into the second year of the bachelor program, saving both time and money. Units such as CHCCC GSS C07, Develop and Implement Service Programs CHCDF VV01, Respond to Domestic and Family Violence, and CHCMHSSS01. Work with people with mental health issues align perfectly with my goal of supporting vulnerable communities. Compared to other providers, which require up to 104 weeks and charge higher tuition fees, Stanley offers the best balance of affordability, quality, and career readiness. Sixth, future career plans, return intention. This is the heart of your GSS. Write about 400 to 600 words. Ask yourself, what is your short-term plan after graduation? What is your long-term vision? How will your Australian training help back home? Do you have networks or opportunities waiting for you? Why does this matter? Because your career plan proves your intention to return home. Here's a sample. After completing my studies, I plan to return to Brazil and work with NGOs such as Instituto Maria da Penha, which focuses on supporting victims of domestic violence. In the first 2 years, I will work as a case manager, applying the skills gained from my Australian training. Over the next 5 to 10 years, I aim to establish my own NGO to provide vocational training and holistic support for elderly and disabled populations. I am already in discussions with a local clinic about collaborating on community workshops. This shows my commitment to using my Australian education directly for the benefit of my home community. The more concrete your plan, the stronger your case. Seventh, financial capacity. Now, financial capacity. Keep this around 200 to 300 words. Ask yourself, who is sponsoring you? What assets or savings back your studies? What is your budget plan? Why does this matter? Because officers need proof you won't struggle financially. Sample phrasing. My studies will be fully funded by my parents, who own 2 rental properties and hold savings equivalent to AUD 85,000. The total tuition for my diploma is AUD 12,500, plus living costs estimated at AUD 21,000 per year. I have prepared a weekly budget of AUD 600, which covers accommodation, meals, transport, and personal expenses. Keep your numbers neat, specific, and realistic. My studies will be fully funded by my parents, who own 2 rental properties and hold savings equivalent to AUD 85,000. The total tuition for my diploma is AUD 12,500, plus living cost estimated at AUD 21,000 per year. I have prepared a weekly budget of AUD 600, which covers accommodation, meals, transport, and personal expenses. Reasons to return to your home country. Here's where you lock in your case. Aim for 400 to 500 words. Ask yourself, what family ties keep you at home? Do you have cultural or religious commitments? Do you plan to inherit property or manage family businesses? Do you already have job opportunities? Why it matters. Strong ties reassure officers you won't overstay. Sample lines. My parents, brother, and extended family all live in Recife. I intend to be with them as they grow older. I will also inherit and manage our family's 2 rental apartments, which I plan to use as a base for community projects. My closest friends and professional networks are in Brazil, and I have strong connections with organisations like Casa da Esperança, who have expressed interest in employing me once I return. Notice how everything points back home. Ninth, acknowledgement of visa conditions, and finally a short but important section of about 150 to 200 words. Simply show that you understand your obligations. Sample line: I fully understand the conditions of the Subclass 500 student visa. I will maintain overseas student health cover, keep my residential address updated with my college, maintain at least 80% attendance, and achieve satisfactory academic progress. I am committed to meeting all of these obligations throughout my studies in Australia. Keep it clear and responsible. So, when you put all of this together, your background, education, work experience, motivation, course choice, career plan, financial stability, home ties, and visa obligations, you'll have a powerful, genuine student statement, around 3,000 to 4,000 words in length. Remember, your GSS should not be generic. It should be detailed, personal, and true to your own journey. Immigration officers want to see your logic, your sincerity, and your commitment to return home after your studies. And if you need expert help, remember, we at GTE Experts are helping students from all around the world to write professional, genuine student statements. We also assist with student visa applications, and if your onshore student visa has been refused, we can help you recover or appeal through the Australian Tribunal. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your studies and your future in Australia.